I still remember lying in that hospital bed, staring at the empty chairs where my parents should have been. The nurse had just finished pre-op prep and my surgery was scheduled in 2 hours. They're not coming, are they? I asked Dr. Chin, my mentor and the only person who'd stayed by my side. He squeezed my hand, his eyes full of compassion. Your sister's graduation ceremony started an hour ago, Alexandra. Of course. Because Megan's college graduation from a mid-tier business school was apparently more important than her older sister's career-saving spinal surgery. A surgery I needed after working triple shifts as a surgical resident, pushing myself until my body literally broke. My phone buzzed. Mom. Megan looks so beautiful accepting her diploma. The whole family's here. I'm sure your surgery will go fine without us. It's just a back problem after all. Just a back problem. The herniated disc that could have ended my surgical career if not fixed properly. But Megan was their golden child, their precious business major who'd never had to fight for their attention. We recorded Megan's valedictorian speech. Dad texted next. We'll show it to you once you're done with your procedure. I turned off my phone, fighting back tears. Dr. Chin noticed, his face darkening. You know, he said quietly, there's an attending position opening up next year. The kind that leads to chief of surgery if you play your cards right. I looked at him through painkiller blurred eyes. You think I could? Alexandra, you're the most talented surgeon I've ever mentored. This setback? It's temporary. But your future? That's going to be extraordinary. As they wheeled me into the operating room, I made a promise to myself. One day I'd be more than just the sister they could ignore. I'd be someone they couldn't. 7 years later, I stood in my office at Metropolitan General Hospital, adjusting my white coat with Dr. Alexandra Chin, Chief of Surgery, embroidered on the pocket. Yes, I'd taken Dr. Chen's name when he'd legally adopted me 2 years after my surgery. My biological parents hadn't even noticed. Dr. Chin. My assistant Sarah knocked softly. The new resident orientation starts in 20 minutes. And, there's something you should know. I looked up from the patient files on my desk. What is it? Your sister Megan is in the incoming class. She just finished medical school. I froze. Megan? The same sister whose graduation my parents had chosen over my surgery? The one who'd spent years bragging about her business career while dismissing my medical achievements? Let me guess, I said, remembering all the family dinners I'd missed due to surgeries. All the celebrations they'd held for Megan's minor accomplishments while ignoring my promotions. She finally realized business wasn't glamorous enough? Sarah nodded. She's been telling everyone in the lobby about how she's going to revolutionize hospital administration. Says her business background makes her special. I picked up my tablet, pulling up the resident files. There she was, Megan Wilson, MD, looking polished and confident in her headshot. Just like she'd always looked in the family photos I was mysteriously absent from. She doesn't know you're chief of surgery, Sarah added. None of the family does, do they? No, I smiled, thinking of all the times they'd asked about my doctor job, without bothering to learn the details. They never cared enough to ask. My phone buzzed, a text from Mom, the first in months. Megan starts her residency today. First doctor in the family. We're so proud. First doctor in the family. I stared at those words, remembering all the graduations, awards and promotions they'd missed. The adoption they hadn't attended. The changes they hadn't noticed. Sarah, I straightened my coat. Let's make sure the orientation is memorable. The lecture hall was packed with new residents, all eager faces and crisp white coats. Megan sat in the front row, naturally already holding court with her neighbors. My business degree gives me a unique perspective, I heard her saying. I'll probably be running this place in a few years. I stood in the wings, listening as she continued. My family's so excited. First doctor among us. Though my sister tried medical school too, I think. Dropped down to regular doctor work after some surgery. Couldn't handle the pressure. Sarah touched my arm. Ready, Dr. Chin? I thought about the last 7 years. The nights I'd spent perfecting my craft, the lives I'd saved, the department I now ran. All while they'd celebrated Megan's every move. Oh yes, I smiled, stepping toward the podium. I'm more than ready. The lecture hall fell silent as I stepped onto the stage. 200 new residents held their breath, but I only watched one face. Megan's confident smile froze, then cracked. then shattered as recognition dawned. "Welcome to Metropolitan General," I began, my voice carrying through the perfect acoustics. "I'm Dr. Alexandra Chin, Chief of Surgery and your residency director." Megan's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. Her newfound friends glanced between us, catching the resemblance but not understanding the tension. "Some of you may have impressive backgrounds," I continued, my eyes locked on my sister. "Business degrees. But here's what matters now. Your skill in the operating room, your dedication to patients, and your ability to handle pressure. Everything else is just noise." Sarah appeared at my side with the resident assignments. I took them, enjoying how Megan squirmed in her seat. "Now about your rotations. You'll each be assigned to an attending physician who will mentor you. Except," I paused, allowing myself a small smile, "for Dr. Megan Wilson. As per hospital policy regarding family members, you'll be transferred to County General." "What?" Megan shot to her feet. "You can't do that." "Actually, I can. Hospital bylaws are quite clear about nepotism. We wouldn't want anyone suggesting you got special treatment because your sister is chief of surgery." The whispers started immediately. Megan's new friends edged away from her, their allegiances already shifting. "But," Megan's voice cracked, "Mom and Dad said that I'm just a regular doctor, that I couldn't handle the pressure." I smiled professionally. Perhaps they should have attended some of my ceremonies. They might have learned differently. After dismissing the orientation, I returned to my office. It took exactly 12 minutes for my phone to explode with family messages. "Mom, how dare you embarrass your sister like that?" This was her moment. "Dad, we demand you reverse this decision immediately." I let them go to voicemail, instead focusing on the emergency surgery schedule. But then my office door burst open. Megan, tears streaking her makeup. "This is revenge, isn't it?" she accused. "For all the attention I got?" I looked up calmly. "No, Megan. This is policy. And professionalism. Two things our family never taught you about. I worked hard to get here." "Really?" I stood, my white coat catching the light. "Tell me, when's the last time you worked a 36-hour shift? When have you held someone's heart in your hands, literally fighting death? When did you sacrifice everything, including family support, for your patients?" She fell silent. "That's what I thought." I handed her the transfer papers. "County General is an excellent hospital. You'll learn a lot there. Without any family complications. Mom and Dad will never forgive you." She tried one last time. I laughed, genuinely amused. "Forgive me? For what? Becoming chief of surgery? Being the youngest department head in hospital history? Or for finally showing them that the daughter they ignored became someone they can't?" "We didn't ignore you." "Really?" I picked up my tablet, pulling up old photos. "Here's my graduation from medical school, empty chairs where our parents should have been. My chief resident ceremony, you all were at your business school formal. My adoption by Dr. Chin, you had a job interview that day." "Adoption?" Megan whispered. "What adoption?" "Exactly. The man who mentored me, who sat with me during my surgery when our parents chose your graduation instead, legally became my father 2 years ago. Not that any of you noticed I changed my name." She sank into a chair, realization dawning. "That's why you're Dr. Chin." "Yes. Because he was there for every achievement, every setback, every triumph. While our biological parents were busy celebrating your business degree and MBA, Dr. Chin was helping me become chief of surgery." My phone buzzed again. Mom demanding a family meeting to discuss this situation. "You know what's ironic?" I said, declining the call. "All those years they treated you like you were special. But now I'm the one with the power to shape your career. Funny how life works out." Megan stood, gathering what remained of her dignity. "I'll excel at County General. I'll prove I deserve to be here." "I'm sure you will. But you'll do it on your own merits, not your family name. Not that our family name means much in medical circles." I turned back to my work. "Oh, and Megan, don't forget to return your MetroGen ID badge to HR on your way out." After she left, Sarah brought in the afternoon surgery schedule. "Your parents are in the lobby demanding to see you." I glanced at the schedule, 3 complex procedures awaiting my expertise. "Tell them they can make an appointment. Through proper channels. And if they persist, Then remind them that security removes all unauthorized visitors. Even family. I pulled on my surgical gloves. Now let's save some lives. That evening, as I completed my final surgery, a challenging valve replacement that would have been impossible with my untreated back injury, I received one last text from Mom. We just want what's best for Megan. I thought about that empty hospital room 7 years ago, about all the moments they'd missed, about the father who'd chosen me when they wouldn't. So did I typed back. I wanted what was best for her medical career. That's why I'm sending her somewhere she can't rely on family connections. Consider it a valuable lesson in handling pressure. Then I turned off my phone, hung up my white coat and headed home. Tomorrow would bring new surgeries, new challenges, new chances to prove that the daughter they'd ignored had become someone they couldn't avoid. Dr. Chin, my real father, called as I was leaving. Heard about today. You okay? I smiled, touching the name badge that carried his legacy. Better than okay. For the first time they finally saw me. They saw a chief of surgery, he corrected. Which is exactly who you are. Sometimes success isn't about proving others wrong. Sometimes it's about becoming so right that their approval becomes irrelevant. And sometimes, just sometimes, it's about showing your family that the daughter they couldn't make time for now controls their precious golden child's future. The next morning I saw Megan leaving with her box of belongings. Our eyes met across the lobby. Good luck at County, I called out. I hear their chief of surgery is excellent. Though not quite as young as Metro Jen's. Sometimes the best revenge isn't served in the operating room. Sometimes it's served with transfer papers and a reminder that family ties can be professionally binding.